Hey y'all, it is your favorite nerdy girl here, Nerdy Girl Reviews. We are back. I think I'm gonna interject ever so often with like just random thoughts, that could be related to the review, could not. All this to say, I just wanted to show off the record that I got recent, the Bad Bunny record. I think I've shown already. Um, the inside, I got the vinyl. The vinyl for Bad Bunny. I think it's available on CD and probably download. But all this to say, well worth the investment. There are some songs, yeah, the lyrical content is a little out there, but the ones that really hit, oh my goodness, like some of them have made me cry just because of the sentimental value behind the lyrics, and they're more like relationship, family relationship dynamics, appreciation for your land, for your family, for your community. I've shared in other clips here on my feed the white vinyl that I have, which I'm very pleased. And I'm just happy I was able to find it because, ordering stuff to myself has become a little complicated. But when I have access to things and that I'm able to purchase them and I don't have to wait for shipping, amen. So for that, and the inside cover, oh, it feels like you're looking at an album, photo album of your family member or something like that. It was really well done. You really knocked it out of the ballpark with this, and no wonder he's gained a larger audience and a larger following just because. And side note, something about certain songs felt like an homage to like the old salseros, for like from Hector Lavoe to even now the late great Willie Colon. There was some instance or nostalgic feeling in the composition that felt very much like Fania, felt very much like of that decade, the 60s, the 70s, that rhythmic sound. I can go on and on about it. And then his vocals, which, I know he has only a certain amount of range because he is not a professional singer. He does reggaeton. But I think somebody must have worked with him, like a vocal coach, something, or a singing coach must have helped him because some of his songs, or maybe the lyrics or the way it was arranged, sound very much like early works of Jay Rivera. If you were a big salsa head in the 90s and you remember that timestamp and you remember the sound that was coming out from Puerto Rico, Jay Rivera definitely was up there. And so there's certain things where he enunciates and certain notes that he goes up that sound very much like, classic Jay Rivera. Cara de Niño, I think it was called. That first record that dropped by Jay Rivera. In fact, a lot of people would go sample that one song in particular, Amores Como Lo Nuestro, I think it was called, and it was an original anthem from something else. So that salsa was already sampled from something, an original composition song from something else. I think it was an anthem, perhaps. Don't quote me. I think it was something directly related to Puerto Rico, and they took that portion of that song, put it in the salsa, then years later would be sampled for Uptown Baby, which I think is funny because people always think that Uptown is related to Uptown Manhattan, which it should, but that song is in relation to the Bronx. Anyway, Uptown Baby, Uptown. Anyway, that's just a random thought. All this to say, I've been very enthusiastic with these reviews, and I'm looking forward to actually reviewing. We'll see if I can get tickets. I want all you who follow me here on TikTok and perhaps on YouTube. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you get pre-order tickets for Devil Wears Prada? Because, by the way, I should have mentioned it in my review, the actress that plays Caroline Kennedy is daughter to Meryl Streep. And she did a phenomenal job. I think she... Ooh, and the few scenes that she was in, she was captivating. And then this last episode, her crying on cue, honey, just like mommy. So, but all this to say, Devil Wears Prada comes back. The sequel after how many years? Like 20 plus years. I remember watching that film in theaters. And it was trending then, and it was a big thing. People were buying tickets, but it's... No one, I don't believe anyone, a single person, either as cast and crew or writers, anticipated the cultural phenomenon that it would become. I would eventually, yes, go on to buy the DVD. I didn't know it would have such an impact on younger generations, because I think it was 2 years back already that I went to go see the screening of Devil Wears Prada. They were celebrating, I think it's 20th anniversary, 20 plus, I don't know. And the crowd was relatively very young. I think there were a lot of like theater majors in that crowd that night. And I felt like I was a Rocky Horror Picture Show showing, because everyone knew like nearly every line, and they were like spitting it out. Again, like you would see in a Rocky Horror Picture Show. They knew all the lines. They knew everything that was going to come out of Miranda Priestley's mouth. I went to go see it because, ironically, this is how it ties to, again, love story. Adrian Grenier was playing Anne Hathaway's love interest, Andy, on the movie. I forget his name. But I was a big Entourage fan. And like I mentioned in my review, the mom that plays Carolyn Bassett's mom was, I think, a talent agent in Entourage. And she was always bouncing off of Ari Gold. Anyway, I was a big fan of Entourage. And so I loved Adrian, and I wanted to go see it for that. You know, fast forward all these years later, again, Devil Wears Prada has also gone through its own psychological, dissection, like Sex and the City, and they've pegged him as a toxic boyfriend. I don't think so. I don't see it that way. But that's just my opinion. And of course, it has such great songs. They had access to Madonna's Vogue, which, by the way, she did date John F. Kennedy Jr. Madonna. What's her name? Daryl Hannah, Sarah Jessica Parker. He had a type. He had a type for like blondes, I think. All this to say that it looks like it's going to be really cool, really good. I want to know how they're going to pick it up 20 plus years later. Much like Scrubs, which I just reviewed here on TikTok. But I want to know how they can move forward, because I will say that I don't know how nobody breaks that down. They break down Anna Hathaway's relationship into pieces, but they don't, at least I haven't seen a reviewer make comments of how toxic Miranda made that work environment. Because there's a particular scene in the trailer, which seems a little uncomfortable. She says something that I think HR is there to like discipline her, and she's just like, what did I say? Again, I don't know. I'm curious to see. Curiosity has peaked, and I just want to see how it's gonna play out. Also, I'm anticipating those popcorn buckets. I mean, I know they're expensive, and I really have never felt the need to shell out $50 for it. But that one that looks like a handbag, oh my God, it's so precious. And I am loving the fashion, as you can see. And so I'm seeing if I'm going to pick out an actual outfit if I do get tickets. But anyway, let me know if you want me to document that. I can put it on here. Let me know if you've gotten tickets. And let me know if you like these videos. Anyway, be kind. Leave me a comment down below. And until next time, y'all. XOXO, Nerdy Girl. Bye.